Now that I have completed the design, I can create some components. With the data actor selected, I will create the first one using the context menu. The selected actors has been replaced by one instance of the component we just created. You never place components on your design, you place instances of them. With the instance now selected, I have two more options available on the editor's bottom menu, overrides and taxonomy. Let's talk about overrides first. If any component, like this one, has any text members, those actors' text properties can be changed from the overrides panel. You can see the name of each actor next to an input to edit its value. If I edit any of the text in the override panel, the instance updates in real time, even in the live preview. Think of the overrides tab as the place where you access the interface for your instance. Let me create a rounded rectangle really quick. It will be the source of the bars of the histogram, and to be able to use it properly later, I will convert it to a component. A reminder, we call the actors that conform a component members of that component. Going back to this component, let's check its overrides. There's nothing there. Why? Because pers, by default, only exposes the text or media link properties of its members. A rectangle has none of those properties, so we have no overrides by default. I need to expose the color, because each histogram bar will display a color depending on the activity type. To add the color property, we use the taxonomy panel. The taxonomy panel is where we create the component's override interface. The taxonomy of a component is a list of exposed properties of its members. Not all properties, just the exposed ones. Our component has no taxonomy, so let's create one. First, we add the member to the taxonomy, and then we add properties to the member. These are what we call exposed properties. When I choose the color property, the validation type control appears just below. It tells pers the way we want to display the value of this particular property in the overrides interface. In this case, we want the color to be chosen from the list of the brand colors. We have defined them at the very beginning, so it makes sense, right? If we check overrides now, voila, there you have a color element with swatches representing the brand colors. If we click on any of them, the component instance changes to show that color. Now we are going to do something a little bit more complex. We are going to create a new component, the stats component with the elements below. If we click on the overrides, we can see that we already have exposed the text. So if we change it, they update. But for this special component, we need to change some things. So we go again to taxonomy. And in taxonomy, the first thing I'm going to do is going to change the validation type of the category to a dropdown. This way, I can just establish the fixed values that I want to be chosen for this part of the component. Now I'm going to add the progress bar part, and in the progress bar I need to change the arc length. The arc length values are between 0 and 1, so I choose a slider as the validation type. I also want the progress and the hour label to have the same color, so I will choose the text color and border color, and in both of them I will add the validation type of brand color. If we click on overrides now, we can see that we have defined 5 different values. We can choose the text of the label from a drop-down, we can choose the colors on both the text and the border, and we can change the arc length and even the hours. We have created a fully functional interface for our component in less than 1 minute. I'll go for our last component today. I will add to the taxonomy the home, social and work circles, and I will add the arc length property to each of them. I also want to control the visibility of the left and right arrows from the interface, so I will add them to the taxonomy, and I will control on each of them the height property. If we check our override panel now, we can see that we have again a complex component with several controls, including the score value, the home, social and work arc length, and previous and next arrows visibility. Let me do a quick recap while I fine-tune the component's alignment. We have created 4 fully functional components in about 8 real-time minutes. What do you think? In the next video, I will bring real data to the app. See you soon, and thanks for watching.